Welcome, guys. I'm back with another video. It's been a while. It's been a long time since I've done a YouTube video. Been busy, been contemplating about, you know, a career as a YouTuber. It's very difficult for me to do YouTube videos. There's a lot in my head. I have a lot of experience traveling, being around the world, been to over 15 countries. Most people on this planet would never visit 15 countries. Some of those 15 countries I've been to 4, 5 times. I've been to Mexico 5 times, different areas in Mexico. I've been to the United Kingdom 4 times, mostly in Britain, in the London area. Been to Turkey twice. Been to Morocco twice. I've been around, so I have a lot of experience traveling. A lot of you guys live in the Western countries, and you're thinking, should I travel? Shouldn't I travel? As you guys know, if you watch my videos, if you've been subscribed for a while, I used to live in Miami. If you go to my earlier videos, you'll see my Passport Bro videos living in Miami in 2022. 2021. I did some of my first videos was in Mexico City. That was the first time I went to Mexico City back in 20, was it 2016 or 2017? 2018. I can't even remember. So I've been around. So it's kind of hard for me to do YouTube videos because a lot of people don't understand. You live in a matrix. You live in a society where your whole mindset have been constructed to think a certain way, and you can't think outside of that. I currently live in Lagos, Nigeria. A lot of you guys will be like, why Nigeria? Why are people going to Nigeria? Why Nigeria? I've heard so much bad stuff about Nigeria. If I Google Nigeria right now, all I'm going to see is people getting kidnapped, snatched off the street, scammers, all kind of bad stuff. But that is part of the matrix. Your mind needs to be directed in a certain way. So how do they do? Whoever controls the information controls the perception. So a lot of you are going to disagree with me because of what they've been planning in your head since you were a child. Education system does this. Social media does this, right? And you have like, social media, mainstream media, education, and then you have the internet. All those propagandas have been planted to keep you where you are because they have to keep you where you are. Remember, when the slaves were let go, they didn't just let the slaves go, they let the slaves go physically, but now they had a bigger picture. The people that control the society, not the people that owned the slaves. The people that owned the slaves are now slaves. Most of them. Now they're working for corporations. The family, the predecessors, the people that came from that lineage are working for these big people. So now everybody is. So you have a small top percent of people that control everyone. This video is to tell you 5 reasons why I moved from the United States as a US born man in his 40s. I left the United States in December 2022. 5 reasons why I left the United States and now live in Nigeria. Let's go. So the number one reason why I left is cost of living. As you guys know, cost of living is off the charts. I mean, if you think about what you paid for groceries and certain things last year compared to this year in the US, and even the cost of living in art is still going to go up. It's always going to go up since COVID. This is my first time using this microphone. I hope the sound is not too loud because this microphone, the sound is that's what I'm, yeah, because the sound is going to be, if I move it closer, the sound will be a lot louder. Cost of living. I just came back from the United States in November. This was my first time going back to the United States since I moved in November 20 December 2022 rather. So I left December 2022 and my first time going back was November 2024. And boy, I tell you, everything was at least double the price. The apartment that I used to live in South Beach, I went back there, talked to my landlord, you know, try to see if there was any mail that slipped through the cracks because I already changed my address. And I was asking my apartment I was living in, like, how much would it be now? Like, how much are you renting it for now? And it's like three times the price. Three times the price. Mind you, I was living in South Beach. If you guys know South Beach, I was living on 13th in Washington, right by the post office. So, that's like a prime area for tourists and all that. And it was kind of quiet because once you hit Washington, you go towards Alton, you go west a little bit towards the bay, it gets quiet because the more residential areas away from the touristy area like Collins Avenue and Ocean Drive. Um, Everything was expensive. The rent was expensive. My landlord said he's looking to sell the building. It's everything went up. His light bill, trash bill, everything. He was telling me compared to when I was living there, everything is out of control. So cost of living was the reasons why I moved. Even in Nigeria, the cost of living is going up. Inflation is going up. When I first moved here in December 2022, prices are not the same. But because I make US dollars, and that's why I moved, I can still, be above water. I can at least because once I change my income, it's 5x, 4 or 5x. Now, $1 is 1,500 naira. So for $1, you have 1,500 naira, which is the Nigerian currency. So you're able to at least, you're part of the 1%, right? If you have a remote job or something like that. So that was one of the reasons why I moved from Nigeria from the US to Nigeria. And when I went to the US for 2 months or so, 3 months, I was thinking, God, I moved. The cost of living was out of food, groceries, eggs, everything. I went into Publix, I went into Winn Dixie, everything was at least twice the price, including the small things like condiments, like, you know, relish or like ketchup or stuff like that, or small stuff like small cakes or stuff like that. Snacks, everything was twice, three times, four times the price. So that's one of the reasons. Rent, for the studio that I was living in South Beach, we're talking 15, 1600 now, 1700 for a studio in South Beach. That's like an older building, newer building. You're paying more than that. Uh, for $4,000 for the whole year, here you get a four-bedroom. You get a four-bedroom with 3 stories and a maid's quarter, right? So let's not forget the maid's quarter here. So we're talking a little under 400. Let's just say $400 a month. For $400 a month, you get in a four-bedroom in a nice area in Nigeria, in a gated community with security that you don't even need security. There's security so people can come visit you if you don't want them to. Light bill is really low. For a 3, 4 bedroom, you're paying, even with the tariffs going higher in Nigeria, you for your light bill, you're paying about, you know, let's just say 20, 30, $40, depending on how big the house is. If you live in a mansion in Nigeria, that's different because you're powering a lot of things, AC and all of a fridge and all of that stuff. But the cost of living is a lot lower here compared to the US. And I'm from Miami, South Beach. So the cost of living there is one of the highest in the US. South Beach, we're talking Miami, we're talking Los Angeles, New York, Boston, Chicago. We're talking those cities where your cost of living is a lot higher. I lived in Chicago for 11 years. So The cost of living is high as well. But Miami is like my home where I moved from, and I'm comparing everything to that. The number two reason why I moved from the U.S. is division, right? There's so much division. You got the Democrats. We just had the election. Democrats versus Republicans, right? We have the whites versus the blacks. You have the Jewish versus the Asian. Like everybody's divided. Straight versus gay, and trans versus like everything. Like they bunch everybody together, but everything is so divided, right? I remember the police got called on me by when I was living in Chicago. A lady called the police on me. We live in the same building, a white lady, blonde hair, white lady. It was like 1 a.m. in the morning. I was sitting in my car in Lincoln Park. Like I lived in a nice area in Chicago. If you guys live in Chicago, shout out to Chi Town, 312. Um, and she called the police on me. Cops came, swarm, guns drawn out, my hands out the window, like, what's going on? Yeah, a lady just called and said, there's a black guy, suspicious black guy, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, yo. And they checked my license. I lived in a building. I was parked right in front of the building in Chicago. So, you have the division, you have, you have women against men. There's big division between women against men. Everything is by design. Everything is by design. I'm not blaming men. I'm not blaming women. The whole society is created that way. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people sit on podcasts all day arguing with women about nah, why is everybody not sticking together? Man against men, women and this and that, but white against blacks. But everything is by design, right? Everything is by design. You see a white cop shooting a black um person, right? You won't see a black cop shooting a white person, which if you look at those stats, you will be shocked. A lot of people don't look at stats. A lot of people get the information from the media, either by social or mainstream. Those are very dangerous. People that control the society, control the control your perception because they own everything, right? Everything goes from on top. you know, the man against woman thing. They started with feminism and all that, and I'm not even going to get to all that. That's a video for another day, and all this stuff. Everybody thinks is women against men and this and that and pointing fingers and this and that, and it's just like black women against black women and white women and this, blah, 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 blah. But it's just like, it's crazy. I just got tired of all that stuff. In Nigeria, everybody knows their place. Women know their place, men know their place. There's none of this nonsense talk about, oh, women against men, ooh, and everybody pointing the finger. It's just, you know everybody, you don't really hear that stuff. People are busy trying to survive and make money, which I love the society for. It's not a perfect society, but I love it that way. I love the way that everybody knows their place. When you meet a woman and you go out on a date, she knows you expect something from her. She's expecting something from you. In the United States, people fighting for this like 50-50 and man against everything is just by design. And you guys don't understand. So for me, I can't win the system, right? A lot of you are fighting a system you can't win. You can't win. You don't understand that. Your best bet, especially as a man in a Western society, your best bet is to leave. Go to a society that favors you. Go to a society that embraces what you love, right? If you like 50-50 and all this equal stuff, stay in the West. Cool. But if you're kind of a traditional man and you want traditional things to happen, you need to go to a country that embraces that. I'm in Nigeria and I'm here for a reason. And I love that I'm here. Now, you might not like Nigeria for whatever reason, even though you've never been here. Find a country that you love, you know, as a man. As a woman, I don't know what to say because as a woman, you can't really control your outcome when it comes to relationships because a man still has to choose you. So now you still have to inhibit something that a man wants. You still have to have certain traits and femininity that men wants. If you don't have that, no matter where you go, you're gonna have a lot of problems. So I can advise men. because I'm a man and I date women. But as a woman, I'm not understanding what you can do. Because if you're a woman from the United States, the most freedom you're gonna have as a woman is gonna be in the United States. As a man, the most freedom you're gonna have is gonna be outside the United States. There's a reason why. Everything is opposite and upside down. That's one of the reasons why I left the United States. The third reason is dating and marriage. It's kind of a segue. So that's the third reason is dating and marriage. For dating and marriage, it kind of goes with this wokeness, feminism, women boss babes, but they still want a man to pay for this and that. But I'm still not going to do anything for you. I don't want 50-50 unless when we get a divorce, I'll take half of your 401k, I'll take half of your property, whatever you own, I'll take half of it. And I know a lot of women say, well, it goes both ways. Men, women pay alimony, blah, 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 blah. No, just go do the research. A lot of you don't like doing research. A lot of you go um you like propaganda, you like things, you like watching things on social media that favor your thoughts. That's why you search things that favor your thoughts. So you're kind of in this ecosystem that kind of, that kind of feeds the beast, whether you're a woman or a man, if you understand what I'm saying. So for me, I'm a traditional man. I was born and raised into a traditional family. My parents were together until my dad passed away. So all I know is being in a traditional, kind of mindset and role, and that's what I want. When I meet a woman, I want a woman to be feminine because I'm masculine. I don't want any of this fight back and forth. I don't want to date a single mother. I'm a guy in my 40s. I don't have any kids. So being married is something where we're going to have children together. I'm going to take the majority of the financial responsibility, 95%, maybe 100% of the financial responsibility, right? And whatever's left, my wife would do, right? What if whatever I need her to assist me with, she will. But mostly what I need assistance with is the home, raise a family, take care of the home, be the manager of the home. That doesn't mean she's not gonna have a job or a business, right? But it won't be the full focus. Like in the West, women are focused on careers. I remember when I was in my 20s, I was trying to date, and most of the women that I was trying to date was like, I'm focused on my career. I'm too young for this. I'm too young for that. And me growing up in a traditional home, I kind of thought like, what? You're not ready? When are you gonna be ready? I was kind of naive to what was going on, but I was made to understand the colleges, the universities, everything was pushing women that way, pushing women that way. So you see all these horror stories online. You look at all these YouTube videos, um, you look at statistics, right? And everything just didn't seem right to me. So my solution was not to fight the system or fight women or go on podcast and arguing with women about you not being feminine. You have two kids with no with you don't know who the baby dad is. Blah, blah, blah. My solution was to leave, go to a society that is promoting traditional life, right? I have to pay bride price for my wife. I have to pay uh, with dowry, right? That's the system. That's what I wanted. I wanted a traditional way of life, and I'm ready for that. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm not ready fully mentally, but I'm ready for that. Whatever it takes, I'm gonna do to get that femininity close to me as a wife, a masculine and feminine. I don't have time to be arguing with someone about what they need to do, not being feminine, you know, especially as a black man in America. You have 76, 77% of kids born out of wedlock. That's a problem. That's a problem because me personally, I'm never gonna marry a woman that grew up in a single mother home. I'm not. I'm not gonna marry a single mother. I'm not. I'm not gonna marry a woman over 30. I'm not. I'm not gonna marry a woman that's been sleeping around. I'm not. I'm not gonna marry a woman that doesn't know how to embrace who she is as a woman, femininity. I'm just not. That is my role. That is what I choose, and that's why I left the United States. Right? As man, you have that choice. You can leave, or you can stay there and fight the system. You're never gonna win. The CIA, the FBI, the US government, the Secret Service, they spend billions of dollars to control that narrative. And it is the way it is for a reason. You stay there and fight the system. That is your problem. My problem is not to fight a damn system. My solution, pack my bags, leave. Find a society that matches me. And a lot of you men, I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, if you seem that your society is being affected by this wokeness and penetrated by it, you need to leave. You need to go where you're treated best. Shout out to Andrew Anderson, Nomad. You guys have watched his videos, and that's why, right? The number four reason for me leaving the United States is safety. This is gonna be a very, very controversial topic because a lot of you guys are gonna be like, "There's no way Nigeria is safer than the U.S." I'm gonna tell you right now, it is safer than the U.S. in general, especially if you live in Lagos, Abuja, or like one of the city. Even if you live in a small village, all you have to do live in a cool, nice area. You don't have to live in a freaking ghetto. There's bad areas and good areas everywhere. But the thing is, in Nigeria, there's no guns on the street like there are in the US. I got a gun in my head. I almost got carjacked in Chicago. There's no way that's happening to me in Nigeria. I'm not getting carjacked in Nigeria. A gun to my head. I was on a red light in the west side of Chicago, waiting for the light to turn green, and all of a sudden, my window was down. It was in the summer, and this guy opened the door from the inside, and then showed me a gun from his waistband and said, "Get the f out." And I was looking at him. I was frozen. I said, "I'm not getting out this car. You're gonna have to shoot me." We stood there. People were blowing their horns. And one thing led to the other. He finally left. He finally left the car. I've got a gun to my head by the police in Chicago. Chicago had the craziest. I had a crazy story in Chicago, not Miami. Crazy story. I got pulled over in the alley. The cops said go in the alley. Put a gun to my head, started threatening me about I had drugs in the car and blah blah blah. And I'm like, bro, I check my car, man. I give you consent. Check my car. Sit in the pavement. Sit in the pavement. I know you have drug in the car. Sit in the pavement. I sat on the pavement, and uh, that was bad from my side. I shouldn't have given consent, but he was just there was a gun in my head. I was just like, yo, you know what? Just check my car, man. Check everywhere. And while he was checking my car, this guy was threatening me. White cop, literally like young white cop, blonde hair, just threatened me. Yo, safety in the US is crazy. There's no school shootings here, so I can raise my kids here without them being, in school and another kid bringing a kid to school. In supermarkets, nobody's getting shot up in supermarkets, movie theaters, mall. There's no, like the bad stuff that you might hear, like Boko Haram and all that stuff that used to happen was in the northern part of the country, where I would never like that area, like Maiduguri and all that area where all that stuff was concentrated. There was a reason why that was happening. I'm not even gonna get into that in this video, but I'm generally safer here in Nigeria because there's not generally no guns on the street. There's people don't really have guns. In Florida, there's an open carry. Like I go in Walmart and you can really see people's guns. Like this is dangerous. This is very dangerous. There's too many guns on the street in the U.S. for me to live there. There's so many home invasions. Don't even talk about Chicago. Chicago was a nightmare. Chicago was like that horror movie you watched, like literally in Lincoln Park. There was a chef that got deleted in like at 7 p.m. at night. They put up on him and like literally, I saw the video from a traffic camera right in my neighborhood when I lived in Chicago. Yo, this does not happen in Nigeria. So whatever you read online has been placed there for certain countries to look a certain way. But for you guys that have traveled, your perception is a way different from someone that just is googling stuff. I Google this, I Google that. When you actually travel, when you talk to people that have actually been to Africa, been to Nigeria, been to Ghana, been to Kenya, been to Morocco, been to these places, they can tell you, listen, I've been here, I had a good time, and I went back home and I didn't get robbed. And even if you got gringo tax and all that other stuff, that stuff is minor. Everybody gets gringo tax. In the US, you get gringo tax by Walmart. You don't even know. Except everybody gets gringo tax. The number five and the final reason. This is a first part video. I'm gonna do a part two. Is freedom, mindset, and freedom. The freedom comes from a mindset. If you don't have freedom in your mind, you're physically not going to have freedom. People in the US are unilateral. They literally think in one way. Like you see people in the US, you already know what they're going to ask, what they're going to do, what they're going to say. The people literally are like programmed computers in the US. Every time I meet someone in the US, they're going to ask my name, what do you do? Some people don't even ask your name. It's what do you do? Like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you? People are so concerned about what you do. Let me see, this microphone is still on. What do you care about? What do I do? Like everybody thinks the same. Like the mindset is so crazy. Like you literally see people and they all think the same. People in the United States literally mostly think the same. They know nothing about the world. People in the United States, we weren't taught anything in school. You don't have we don't know geography. We don't know anything about nothing. We don't know anything about nothing, but we're the most arrogant people in the world. We go all over these people's countries and act arrogant, like we the best. We're not the best. We are not the best when it comes to knowledge. And you go to these small countries, and these people are knowledgeable. They can name almost every state in the U.S. But we Americans, we can name 10 countries in Africa, 10 countries in Europe. How many continents are in the world? You know, so mindset. My mindset is more of a free mindset. I love to be free. I love to be around free thinkers, people that think, people that talk, people that can express themselves. In the US, you can express yourself. You might get canceled for even this video. This video might cancel me, but I don't care. In Nigeria, I can go to a cigar bar right now in Lekki, and this is a normal conversation people having. You have this conversation in the US, people are ready to cancel you. Oh my God, how dare you say this and say that? And the thing about the US is this, like this is very dangerous. Like if you don't agree with people, their mindset, you're the enemy. Like you literally like the devil if you don't agree with them. Whereas in other countries, you can have an exchange of opinion. You scream at each other, bro, let's go have a beer. It's done. Because people are not programmed in other countries, especially in non-Western countries. People are not programmed to think the same. In the US, people are programmed to think the same because they need to control everything about you, your mindset, your money, your career, everything. They need to control everything that you think. So for me, I got sick of that. I got sick of talking to people. When I talk to people, when I went back to the US, I just got sick of talking to people. Just everybody just has the same mindset. Not, I'm talking about in general terms. I'm not saying everybody. I'm not saying the whole 300, over 300 million people in the US think the same. I'm saying in general, the mindset is really messed up. Like I just can't take it. I can't stomach it. I got back to the US. An immigration officer said, "You haven't been back in the U.S., given my American passport. You haven't been in the U.S. in a while. Well, where have you been?" I said, "I've been in Nigeria." "Oh, Nigeria. Oh, where's that again?" Bro, you're an immigration officer. You don't know what continent Nigeria is? An immigration officer in Nigeria. There is no country on the planet where an immigration officer doesn't know where Nigeria is. This guy was literally just, you live in Nigeria. What you doing over there? And I'm just like, bro, just stamp my passport, bro. Just stamp my passport, because I don't want to get into this with you. And he was like, oh, you one of those people that run away from the U.S. I'm like, bro, are you an immigration officer? Or are you a woke activist? I don't know. Like, just stamp my passport. Like, I didn't want to get it. Like, I could have had a smart ass comment and conversation with him, but I was just like, you know what? I I just want to be stamped in. I don't want to be here. I'm only here for work stuff. Like, just stamp me in. Those are the 5 reasons why I moved out of the United States and moved to Nigeria. And I'm really happy here. My only regrets is I should have moved here longer than this. But again, thinking about it, you have to get your stuff together. You have to get remote jobs. You have to make sure you make US dollar. If you can't make US dollar online or getting paid, like you're ex-military or you have disability or you have a remote job, permanent one, or you're able to get several remote jobs, even if they let you go back to the US, you pick up compute, blah, 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 blah. If you're not able to do that, I'll say stay in the US. The only reason why you leave the US, I don't care if you're a man or a woman. The only reason you leave the US, the only way you leave the US is to set up a way to make income, US dollars, and live in another country. I don't care if you go to Thailand. I don't care if you go to Colombia. I don't care if you go to Mexico City. I don't care if you go anywhere in the world. You have to make US dollars. I give you my 5 reasons why I left the United States. What's yours? Comment below, subscribe. I'm back, baby. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos. You guys are gonna be shocked. I'm gonna be doing a lot of cool videos. This channel is gonna take a different term. Yes, I'm still a passport bro, but I'm gonna be doing a lot more. I'm going to take a different turn from where I was before. It's going to be, the focus is going to be to remain the same, but I want to educate you people. A lot of you people want to see how other countries are. How's Africa? How's Nigeria? How's West Africa? I Google a lot of this crazy stuff. I'm scared, but I'm going to let you know, as an American living here, I'm going to be showing you a lot of cool stuff that you can be experiencing here. A lot of you guys heard about Dirty December. Do me a favor, after you watch this video, Google Dirty December, go on YouTube and search Dirty December in Nigeria. You will see that December is so lit. And it's not just December. People just pick December to flock here. But there's so many other months you can come here, chill, have a good time. There's nothing bad that's going to happen to you. It's just like going to any other country. Peace. Please share this video. Let someone that you think might benefit from this see this. If you're motivated to travel, leave in the US, book a consultation, Cash App me, Venmo me, anything you want to do. It's in the description below. Peace. I'll be back with another video.